Welcome. Now, in this module, which is called Project Management for Information Security, and this module is part one of a four-part series, we're going to talk about the importance of project management, of effective project management for the information security transformation. Now, first of all, let's take a look at what are the typical cybersecurity challenges that we've talked about before as well. And these are the challenges which the project manager or the team lead who is heading the information security transformation project has to keep these in mind, because these are the challenges that we're actually trying to solve. Now, in Pakistan, we have discussed that there are 5 types of challenges all around us in enterprises, in telecoms, in banking, in various organizations with respect to the information security related to IT. And these are that, first of all, information security has found to be reactive, meaning that it is not proactive. And by that, what we mean is that the entire structure of information security or cybersecurity has not been built up in a planned and diligent manner with a lot of hard work. Just like a data center is built up, it takes a lot of planning and effort and design and materials and assembling. So the structure has not really been built up in a proactive way, and it is very reactive. We're putting about fires all the time. The second characteristic of cybersecurity in Pakistan with respect to challenges is that it's superficial. So there's a very cosmetic thin layer of actions which are taken, and the deep down controls which are to be implemented on IT assets are really missing. And the entire program is does not carry depth. It's a very superficial program, and very few resources are kept and assigned to the actual information security implementation. The third challenge that we see is that there is contention within the organizations for information security. And what we mean is that various entities in the organization, like Information Security Department, Compliance Department, Risk Department, and IT Audit Department, are not working together so that Information Technology Department, which is at the very center, implements a unified common approach for the entire organization, which is implemented by all these entities that I just mentioned. Rather, these various entities like information security, risk, compliance, and IT audit are not cooperating with each other, right? In fact, there's contention and they are at loggerheads with each other. They're actually fighting with each other. And IT is already under pressure, does not have enough resources, and does not have the capacity to adopt 4 different types of frameworks which are divergent. So there is contention in the organization, and there's no single view on what is the best approach and a common approach to fix information security in the organization. And number 4, the fourth characteristic is that there is a box approach, unfortunately driven by vendors. And what we mean is that there is a box or a device for web security, and there's a box or a device for email security, and there's a box or a device for the perimeter security, and there's a box or device for pretty much everything, for APT attacks and for DLP and et cetera, et cetera. And so whenever you want to implement security, just go find the right box and fit it in your network, and that will solve the problem. Unfortunately, there is no silver bullet, and that doesn't solve the problem. And then the 5th characteristic is that there's a governance overkill. So governance means management, but if the first 4 characteristics are missing, if it's reactive and it's superficial and there's no depth, then what are we managing? Because the problem that we see in Pakistan and in many parts of the world, even in the region, is that the deep down controls are not implemented on the IT assets as per international best practices. So the security benchmarks are mostly missing, and the hardening has not been done. The vulnerability management, there's a weakness and there's no discipline, and that is not being done properly. And when you add these 5 characteristics together shown on the screen, it's basically that there's been a denial of information security, that this is even important. And these are the challenges that the project manager has to face when we start a transformation project. Now, effective project management makes or breaks any project. You can have a great project plan, and if it's not implemented properly with discipline, with good planning, with good strategy, with hard work, then it's going to fail. So project management is the make or break point. And along with a good project, you need good project management. And these two really have to tie in together. project management is the sum total. So if we ask this question, what really is project management? Project management is the sum total of managing, organizing, and prioritizing all resources and tasks in order to achieve a successful outcome within the stipulated time frame. And that's very important. We have to finish the project on time. Now, successful security transformation implementation is heavily dependent upon the project being in the hands of an experienced project manager. So we all know that if we are going to build a bridge, or if we're going to build a house, or if we're going to build a road, or even a surgeon is going to perform surgery, for example, on the heart or on the kidney in the medical profession, it's the surgeon who basically is the project manager for that operation. So the project manager or surgeon who's a specialist, for example, for the kidney or for the heart, will decide where to perform the incision, is aware of the ground realities and the vital signs of the patient, and is managing the various resources. There's nurses around him, there's specialists around him, there's various people around him who are responsible for various areas and various disciplines. And the surgeon actually orchestrates the entire operation. During the operation, the entire resources available so that the right action is performed at the right time. And the same principle applies when you're performing any task, building a bridge, building a house. You have to perform the right action at the right time. You have to complete the project within the stipulated time frame. And you also need to have an understanding of the domain of what's going on. In this particular case, it's security. So the best project managers are the ones, just like the best surgeon is the one who's a specialist of the heart, the best project manager for a security transformation project is someone who really has good domain knowledge as well for security, so that you actually know what's going on. In a nutshell, effective project management for security transformation is about understanding the landscape. What are the ground realities? Understanding what is required to solve the problem. Why are we doing what we're doing? What does it consist of? What help will it bring? And being fully committed to ensure that the successful outcome is achieved within time. And that's really the bottom line. You have to get the job done and plan the entire project so that it brings a successful outcome. So common challenges during projects: discipline during the 1 year duration, holding meetings on time, completing the activities on time, prior shortage of resources. So sometimes the project is started and a particular department like the network department or the systems department or the application database department was already having a shortage of resources. And then you've started this project. So inherently that becomes a challenge or a problem for your project as well. New initiatives, so there may be a merger and an acquisition, there may be a new major initiative taken by the organization, and then they ask all the resources to join that new initiative. Constant slippage of tasks. So if you let tasks slip, then it just goes on and on and on, and everybody starts thinking that that's okay and that's acceptable. And lack of commitment by team members. So if there is lack of commitment by team members, the project manager has to sense that and has to fix that. So without bold, well-organized, disciplined, and committed project management, the security transformation cannot be achieved within an organization. Effective project management is the cornerstone. It's really the most critical element, is the cornerstone of achieving success for security transformation projects. And please be aware that we're trying to solve a problem here. Information security transformation is intended to solve a problem because there's been denial for the last 10 years in our country and in the region and in many parts of the world. And we're trying to solve that problem, and it cannot be done by business as usual. You really have to have a surgical operation to solve this problem. And it requires a very special approach for which project management is very important. That's all that we have for this module. Thank you.